Welcome to another session of Pilates at Home. Let's get started. I'm going to have you sit nice and tall. You're welcome to go into our open diamond position with our soles of our feet together, but you want to make sure your pelvis is nice and vertical. Your shoulder hip all in one line. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my positioning and my posture. Okay, I'm going to hold on to a towel just as a little something to help guide the shoulders, keep them activated. Roll your shoulders down and back. Take a big breath in. We're going to do a little scapular retraction, protraction. You're going to reach forward without hinging forward from the pelvis, so we keep a nice neutral spine. As you exhale, you're going to press the arms back, squeezing the scapula toward each other. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, retract back. Belly goes up to the back of the spine. Breath facilitates the move. Inhale one more time and exhale. Try to keep the arms in line with those shoulders. Okay, here we go. Inhale, you're going to float the arms up without changing the position of the spine. Gently pull against your towel and exhale, bring it down all the way. Notice my spine and pelvis are immobile. As the arms come up, the scapula, the shoulder blades glide down. So to keep a nice stable position. The upper body moves, the scapula does not. Inhale. Elongate the spine, crown of the head reaches. One more time, full breath out. Now hold the arms directly in front of you. We're going to slightly roll off the sits bones, curving the spine, and slowly restack. Mobilizing our spine and pelvis, exhale. Curve, rolling off. All right, going to offer up another leg variation. So you're welcome to have legs parallel in line with the hip or lengthened. This is a more challenging position to hold due to it requires quite a bit of flexibility in the hamstrings. Go. Let's continue. Inhale, exhale, curve. Good. Sit up tall, restack. We'll do two more. Exhale, curve. This does help with the anchor, so for those of you who struggle with your feet popping up, lengthen the legs slightly away. It does help. All right, we're going to challenge this and go into a spine stretch forward. Inhale. We're going to curve the spine, reaching slightly forward, shoulders stay above the hips, and restack. Exhale, curve. Belly goes down and deep. Eyes follow the spine. The arms reach forward, but don't add the shrug. One more. Okay, we're going to challenge this and add on. I'm going to have you float the arms all the way up. Inhale. You're going to curve the spine, reaching a little farther. Again, inhale, float the arms up. That's optional. Keep a little tension on that towel so there's no slack. Think of bringing the rib cage up to the back of the spine. One more, we're going to again progress and add on. Okay, restack, hold the arms directly in front. You're going to bend one knee, sit up tall, tilt, go back to our half roll. It could be a quarter roll, it could be a third roll. Lengthen the leg and restack. Switch to the opposite leg. Inhale, exhale, peel down. And again, we want to make sure those legs are anchored. Repositioning each time, alternating that knee bend, keeping those shoulders down and back. One more. Belly goes down and deep. All right, we're going to go back to that spine stretch forward. Inhale, adding that flexion, toes up toward the ceiling or toward the knee. Inhale. One more time. Exhale, reaching forward. You should feel those hamstrings wake up now. All right, bend one knee, exhale. Inhale, switch to the opposite. Sit up, restack, exhale. Good, let's go into a spine stretch. Single count, curve, flex. Little combo here. Bending one knee, exhale. Little half roll. Back to our spine stretch. Here's a little challenge. Arms are up and reach over. Try to keep the arms nice and parallel, bending the opposite knee. Exhale down. spine stretch, arms up. That is optional, it's a little challenging. Bending one knee. Spine stretch. This will be the last time. Bend the knee. Good. Okay, let's go ahead and set your towel to the side. Open up your legs about the width of your mat. The arms are going to be nice and long off to the side. We're going to go into our saw. Sit up tall. Really tall spine here. You're going to rotate on the inhale. Exhale, flex at the spine, reaching little toe or little finger toward that little toe, keeping the hip anchored. Sit up tall. Rotate, inhale, exhale, twist. If you'd like to add that flexion of the feet, you can, dorsiflexion. Restack. So we're adding rotation to this spine stretch forward. Trying to get the nose or forehead in the direction of the knee. I'm going to show you again, if you'd like another variation, your legs don't quite extend that completely, just do it with a bent knee. Focus on that spinal rotation and flexion. Good. Okay, let's go ahead and move our hips nice and forward. I want to have space back here. Sit up tall. And again, we're going to just transition down. Sit up tall, inhale, exhale, roll off the sits bones, challenging the core by reaching the fingertips over the knees and slowly taking it down. Good. Head, neck, and shoulders follow suit. All right, make sure you're nice and neutral here. We're going to do a little isolation here, a little mobilization. Inhale. As you exhale, lift up that leg. And again, the breath pattern can be either way. If you'd like to inhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. That's fine. Focus here is mobility of the hip, and the pelvis is stable. Alternating this leg drop, or also known as a leg lift. One more on each leg. Good. And we're going to add a little bit more mobility. Here we go. Bring your legs glued together. Arms can be open at your side if needed. Okay. I'll give you a little more stability. You're going to open up one knee slightly to the side, maybe a 45-degree angle or less. You're going to lengthen that leg directly in line with the hip. Rotate it internally. Drag it back. This is called hip release. And you can see my pelvis is very immobile. We're going to only do 3 in each direction. And reverse. Lengthen out the leg. Rotate externally. Drag it back in. Inhale, elongate that leg. Externally rotate, rotating the kneecap out. And bring it back to center, and we'll switch this side. If you'd like to, you can bring your arms a little more narrow, adds a little bit more of a challenge. You're going to open up the opposite knee, just a little, not too far. Rotating within the hip socket. Kind of warms up the hip area. Engaging the core with every breath. One more this direction. And reverse it. Lengthen out that leg and hold it. Externally rotate. The heel stays on the ground. Bring it back. Lengthen. Externally rotate. Collarbone is wide. Shoulders are down and back. Good. All right, let's hold it right there just for a moment. We're going to practice a little pelvic mobilization again. A little spinal imprinting. Inhale to prepare. Elongate the spine. Exhale, imprint. Belly goes into the back. Drawing in. This is also known as a Pilates scoop, and you can see my abdominals driving down in deep. And the gluteals are very uninvolved if possible. This is all through the abdominals. Another little tip if you'd like. You can place your hands right on the bottom of the rib, top of the hip. Index finger and thumb, and that distance should get shorter. Full breath, elongate without popping the ribs. hold this one. Let's bring the arms back down. Good. Bring your heels in just a little bit more. As you continue to exhale, you're going to drive your heels and slowly articulate the spine, finish in this nice neutral position, concentrating on articulation of the spine. Take a big breath in, neutral, rib, hip, thigh, knee all in one line, and exhale, slowly take it down. It's a great way to warm up the spine. Gluteals, hamstrings are involved. Driving through the heels. Check to make sure the ribs are closed. Good. And this is a 2-breath move. Exhale, imprint, peel up. Elongate at the top. Biggest breath in and slowly down. Let's do that again. Exhale. Hold this one up this time. Hold it up. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, you're going to articulate only halfway and then lift up. 8. Articulate down. Lift up. So you're going down just about the waistline. Focus on the articulation. Drive through the heels and the gluteus, the hamstrings to come up. Knees stay parallel. 3 more. Pressing evenly into both heels, feet. You want to make sure your toes stay down too. All right, last one. Hold it up. We're going to do little tiny pulses at the top in this neutral space. 6 more. 3. Hold. Take the biggest breath in. Come up a little higher and slowly articulate back down to the mat. Good. Let's just take a mini break and we'll go on to set 2. We're going to add on. Lengthen your legs. You can do a little point flex. If you're a little tight in the hamstrings, you can do a single. Make sure you do both sides. All right, this one's going to be a little tougher. I'd like you to glue your legs together. Okay, the heels are underneath the knees, so they're not too far away. Okay, good. All right, we are going to go back to the imprint. Hold it there for a moment. Tuck the tail under. Feel that imprint of the low back into the mat. Legs are glued. Slowly peel up, and we're going to hold this position. Make sure your heels are underneath the knee. You can see that position. My lower leg is vertical. Here we go. Inhale. You're going to lift up the leg into tabletop. This is called marching, and we're going to slowly lower. The point here is to maintain stability in the spine pelvis while we mobilize through the legs, and you can feel the challenge for your muscles, glutes and hamstrings firing. Inhale up, exhale lower. Inhale up, exhale lower. Let's do 2 more on each side. Make sure you only bring the knee in line with the hip. This is something that you absolutely don't want to do, is tuck it in here. So last one. Hold it up, take a biggest breath in, and slowly melt down. Make sure you're not fishtailing. All right, we're going to go right back up again for another set. Exhale, tuck and peel, and hold it. The right leg is going to come up. You're going to lengthen that leg. You're going to lower it just so it's in line with the knee, and make sure the hip is not dropped. Bend. We're going to go 5 bicycle circles in each direction. Slow and controlled. Key here is pelvic stability. Good. And reverse. Good. Stay connected with the breath. Last one, and hold it up. We're going to little pulses for 5, 4, 3. Drive through that left heel. And hold. Take a biggest breath in. Bend the knee. Hips go high. And exhale, slowly melt down. Good. All right, let's promise to stretch out afterwards. So make sure the shoulders are down and back. And we want to make sure that head is, there's no weight on the neck or the head here. So it goes all into the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, tuck and peel. Your legs are glued together. Make sure your heels are in the right spot. Good. This time you're going to lift up the left leg. You're in that nice tabletop position. Lengthen it, hips are square. lower, bend, lengthen, 5 in each direction. Again, avoiding over tucking or bringing the leg really low. Square off those hips. And let's reverse. Inhale. Exhale, your leg reaches away from core center. This will be the last one. Hold it up. 5 pulses. 3, 2, 1. Hold it up. Slowly bend the knee, lower, hips go high. Big breath in. And slowly melt the spine back. 1 vertebrae, upper back, before the middle, before the waistline, pelvis, and find your neutral space again. Good. Tuck the knees into the chest. I know you feel your hamstrings, so we're going to grab our towel again and use it as a stretching strap. So feel free to do a single or double. If you're doing double, you might be a little more flexible, which is I personally prefer. You just want to make sure your hips are anchored. We don't want to be in this position here. Okay? Want to really accentuate the hamstring stretcher. Let's do a little flex point. Exhale. Point the toes. Think of bringing your heels toward the ceiling as you draw the toes back towards your knees. Last one, and hold it. You're going to bend one knee. We're going to do what we call pedaling out. And I'd really like you to articulate through the feet. So it's not just through the ankle. And you're still breathing. Good. One more on each side. Good. All right, let's take our towel off. I hope if you were doing the single leg version, you're welcome. I mean, you want to make sure you did both sides here. All right, we're going to leave up our legs into tabletop. Okay, so that's knees in line with the hip. Your spine is definitely neutral. There's a natural imprint. It's very subtle, so that space or that gap gets a little more closed. Okay, so but we just want to make sure we're not tucking in here. We want those lower abdominals to fire. All right, anybody who feels a little stress in the neck, you're welcome to place one or both hands behind your head. All right, you're going to tuck the chin. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Lift up the head, neck, and shoulders. Roll your shoulders down and back. Take a little breath in and exhale all the way down. Good. Exhale. Inhale at the top and exhale all the way down. Take a big breath in. We'll do 3 more. Exhale. Just a little warm up for those abs. If this is too challenging, remember the legs can be down and it's totally the same thing. It's just a little easier. A little modification. So either way. One more time. We're going to hold it up and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold 5 seconds. And slowly peel down. This time the arms are going to go overhead. They can start in line with the shoulders or over here where your bicep meets the ear just in front. All right, inhale to prepare. Reach those arms, shoulders are down. Tuck, exhale, come up. I want you to imagine that there's a spring and you're going to compress the spring as you bring the palms down. You're going to resist that spring as you come on. Peel down. Back to the mat. Exhale up. Legs for now are just in this nice neutral tabletop position. Good. Let's do 2 more. And then we're going to add on. And when I say add on, they usually get harder. So feel free to back off on our prior variation. Also, legs can go down. All right, hold this one up just for a moment. Lengthen the right leg. And then the left. Bring it back to tabletop and peel down. Exhale, come up. Inhale, exhale, lengthen. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Peel down. One more time. And again, another add-on. And it's always optional. Lengthen out. One at a time. And bring it on down. Again. All right, this one's optional. You can continue, or you're going to lengthen the legs 2 times. They can be high or out, no more than about a 45. Hold and peel down. Let's repeat that. Exhale, lengthen. Arms down toward the mat. Extend one leg. Then the other. And now both 2 times. Peel all the way down. 2 more of those. Hold it up for a moment. So you got that nice static curl here. Hands can be behind. Both legs 2 times. Woo. Feeling that. And peel down. On this last one, it's a subtle change. A little add-on. Now we're going to bring both legs out once. Open, close, and bring it down. Exhale up. Lengthen one. Then the other. Both legs out or up. Hold, open, close. One more time. Exhale as you lengthen. Inhale. Both legs, 1 time. Hold. Now just open, close. Go. 4, 2, 1. Hold and peel down. Good job, everybody. That was tough. All right, toes down. Open up the arms. A little spine twist for a little reset. A little stretch for our abdominals. Remember, your eyes want to look in the opposite direction of the knees. We get a complete twist through the cervical spine. Upper hip presses forward. Same thing other side. Lengthen first. Settle into your twist. Okay, let's bring it back to center. Rock around a little bit. And we're going to go to some prone exercises, meaning face down. All right, roll yourself up, turn yourself all the way over. All right, let's warm up before we do anything. Open up your legs to the width of the mat. Arms long at the corners. Belly is lifted, head, neck, and neutral. You're going to start with just the right arm. The right arm comes up and lowers. Now we're adding the left leg, so it's in opposition. Belly is lifted. Good. And now together, right arm, left leg. Stay on the same side. I want you to feel the length before you do the reach and lift. Deep breath in, exhale up. Inhale lower. Knit the ribs. Feel the belly drive up. 1 more. Hold it up and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Working those extensors, those posture muscles, and set down. Roll your shoulders, reposition. Tailbone. Okay, slightly tucked. This upper hip bone right here comes up just a little bit. Pubic bone goes into the mat. Left arm up. Shoulder stays down. Remember, you want that distance. All right, the right leg. Make sure it's long before the lift. Now together. Notice my head is in a hover position. If anybody needs a little head support, you just take your towel and you put it right there. And just nice little head support. This way we're ensuring that we're a nice neutral spine. Okay. Includes the neck. Exhale up. Inhale lower. Both shoulders down. All right. On this next one, we're going to hold it up and do our 5 little pulses. And hold, get ready to alternate. Here we go, right arm, left leg. We're going to start nice and slow, alternating this pattern. Don't forget the belly goes up. You shouldn't feel your belly push into the mat. Up to the back of the spine. All right, last one, I want you to hold it up there. You're welcome to stay with that same pace or go a little quicker. Ready? Turn your head. Here we go, alternating into what we call swimmers. If this is too hard, you can shorten the lever. Okay? Longer lever, harder. Make sure you're breathing. We tend to hold breath here. Shoulders stay down. Longer arms, longer legs in opposition. One more, full breath. Hold and down. Slide your hands back. Push yourself up, and we're going to go right to cat-cow. Hands into the shoulders and knees under the hips. And everything in a line. And you might think that you're flat here, so just lift it up a little bit. All right. Inhale to prepare. You elongate. As you exhale, think of pressing away from the mat, looking right through the thighs. Belly up to the spine, low back, mid back. This is more the high curve instead of just arching through the upper back or thoracic spine. Passing through our neutral, going into extension, looking forward but not upward. Exhale in the flexion. Tuck that tail under a little more, belly goes up. Good. One more. Use that breath, flow with the breath. Breath facilitates the move facilitates the breath. All right, let's climb down again and do an exercise called double leg kick. This is a fun one. Okay, place your cheek on the mat, grabbing your 2 fingers. If you have a inflexible shoulder situation, you can just place your hands in the small or that low back position. Try to get the elbows reaching toward the mat, but they don't have to be touching. Okay? I like to grab the 2 fingers. Again, the shoulders are down and back. Legs are glued together, and tilt that tailbone slightly so you engage your abdominal. Okay? All right, we're going to flex the feet. Pump 3, 2, 1. As you lengthen your legs, slowly rotate to your mat into an extension position. Turn your cheek to the other side. See a little neck rotation there as well. The legs can be on the mat or in this nice extended position, activating the glutes, the hamstrings. You can feel your inner thighs. Shoulders are down. We don't want to shrug. Shoulders down. 3 pumps. Active legs, active torso. 1 more to each side. 2, 3. Hold it there for a moment. Release the bind, belly is lifted, and push yourself up. And we're going to go into a little shell stretch. Curving the spine. And you can see I've got this nice, what I call an open window here. There's that C curve. Sometimes people call it an upside down U. Okay. You don't have to sit on your heels. For the best shell stretch, your hips are actually slightly elevated. This is great for back breathing, so you can get that breath into the deep portion of the lungs and into these false ribs, or those little short ribs that don't have a connection. Good. All right, we're going to do some planking today. So let's get on our elbows. Do some elbows, and we're going to start on our knees just for a little bit, just to make sure that we are feeling really strong here. Ear, shoulder, hip, knee, all in one line. Belly is lifted. So be here in this anterior tilt. And also you don't want to allow your scapula to open up. So up to the ceiling. So you want to make sure that you open the scapula, the shoulder blades, and imagine they're going into your hip pockets if you had some, and stabilize that position.
Those who'd like a little challenge, curl your toes underneath. Nothing in the spine and pelvis scapula change, and you lift up. Your glutes are part of your core musculature. Let's make sure we involve them as well. Good. Nice static, full plank here. Remember your ear, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, all in one line. Three more full breaths. Again, feel that belly drive up. If you feel your low back at all, you've lost your neutral, tuck a little bit and invite those glutes to the exercise. Squeeze them. Last breath. Right, bend the knees, walk your hands, elbows back into a nice child's pose. And you can also widen your knees here if that's more comfortable. Allowing your armpits to press toward the mat. And think of your scapula again, a nice open position here. A nice stretch through the lats, which are very responsible for stabilizing the scapula as well as the serratus. Okay, we are going to progress and get a little harder. Again, feel free to take breaks as needed always. All right, we're going to go back to the elbow. Elbows under the shoulders. You can do this on your knees, okay? So feel free to do that. Belly is lifted. Full plank. We're going to tap to the right, center, left, center. Maybe 6-8 inches. The wider, the harder to keep everything stable. Keep it under control. Find where you feel your work phase. I find as I bring the leg out, it's a little harder to maintain balance. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more on each side. Eyes looking at them. Hold. Bend. And walk your hands and elbows back for another child's pose. Rest. Okay, we're going to take it up another notch, everybody. So I'm going to have you be on your hands this time. Again, always if you have wrist issues, welcome to elbows. The next variation, not that great with the elbows, but it can still work. Okay, let's bring up our legs. Open up your legs about the width of your mat. Okay, so a little wider support, you're going to need it. Hold here, head, neck is neutral, eyes looking right, straight down. All right, as you exhale, without rotating the pelvis, you're going to bring the knee cross, lengthen out. So you don't want to add a bunch of pelvic movement here. Spine and hip relatively stable. One more on each. Hold. Breathe and hold. Bend the knees and take your break. Okay, we're going to do a fun exercise I enjoy called side bends. Again, if you have wrist issues, you can always be on the elbow here. It's just not as dramatic. You're going to have your ankles crossed. The top leg is in the front and the ankles are together. All right? Your hand is slightly in front of the shoulder because when we go up, it's going to be in alignment. Okay? You can float the arm or let it rest on the knee. Activate the lat, neck nice and long. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, I'm going to show you two variations. You're going to go to your knee, reach the arm forward. This is the easier variation. Circle the arm,
and lower. The challenge is to extend the legs. Same exercise. Inhale. Exhale, go up. We're in a nice side plank. Shoulders stacked, hips stacked, and lower under control. You get to choose either variation. Inhale. Exhale, up. Circle that arm under control. This can be challenging. Feel free to go to your elbow. 2 more, everybody. Exhale, up. Activate that lat so you don't get the shrug here. Bend the knees, lower slowly. On this last one, we're going to add on. Circle the arm and hold. We're going to do a little lateral flexion and dive under 5. Open back up. Flex, rotate, 2. Lift, 3. 4. All right, don't give up on me. 5. Hold it up, circle the arm, and bend. Excellent job. All right, before we move on, let's just get a little stretch there, reaching the arm across the body. Notice how my shoulders are even and level. They're not here. Good. Take that same arm, reach behind. Feels good. Good. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Hand and ankles align. You now know to go to your knee. The spot and knee must be on the ground. Okay? Here we go. Straighten out those legs slightly for those of you who want to take the full variation. Activate the lat, heavy armpit. Float that arm. Inhale. As you exhale, come up, lift up those hips, stack. You're in a straight line, ear, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, bend. If you hyperextend that elbow, you're going to feel it all in that elbow joint, so be aware of that. Again, this can be done on the elbow. Here it is. It's not as dramatic, but it still works. Okay? Good. 2 more. Use that breath. Just power in the breath. Last one, everybody. You can do it. Hold it up. Lift and dive under. Only 5. We can do anything for 5. Again, this can go to the knee. Watch the knee variation. One more. Hold it up. Circle the arm. And float it on down. Great. All right, same stretch we did before. You want to reach your arm above the elbow. Sometimes it's a little better stretch if you reach above the joint itself. Good. Reaching that arm long. You can even do a little rotation there. Feel a little wristy. Roll out those wrists. Good seated posture, everybody. Same tricep stretch. This requires some shoulder flexibility. I like to have people slightly look up, not up to the ceiling, but really just not forward fold. So straighten out that spine, crawl the fingertip down your midline. All right, let's reach the legs in front. Arms are up. Scoop out the belly. Flex the feet, optional. If you need to bend the knees, go for it. And we're going to do a nice static stretch here, a little spine stretch forward. Think of melting in towards your thighs. Roll into shoulders down and back. You can add a little flex point here. Good. On your next exhalation, slowly peel up. And you're going to bend one knee into just about the right where the knee calf area is. Doesn't have to be perfect. A little farther, a little easier. All right, sit up nice and tall. You're going to take the opposite arm of the leg. So if you've got the left leg out, it's the right arm. You're going to reach. You're going to do a little leg lift. Here we go. So the straight leg is the lifter. I like a little external rotation. Here we go. lift, lift, lift. Notice how nothing else moved. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to hold it. We're going to transfer our weight. Keep the leg as high as you can. Bend that knee. Use the floor if needed. Hover if you can. 5, 4, 3. Little leg lifts. 2. Hold. See if you can balance. Lengthen the arms. Here we go. Set of 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Transfer that weight. Hands on the floor or not. 5 or 4, 2, 1. And we're on 3s now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Set it 2. Lift. 2. Keep that leg high if you can, off the ground. 1, 2. Now everything's going to go to single now. Here we go. Lift and transfer the weight. Come back to center. 2 more. Lift and transfer. Last one. Lift. We're going to hold this one. Hold it. Bend the knee. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I'm only moving an inch. Hold. Set that hip down and the leg. Great job, everybody. Let's switch it out. Sit up as tall as you can. Good. Opposite arm of the leg that's extended. Let's do lifts. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold. Transfer that weight to that bent knee. Floor or hover. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little balance challenge and control. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Everything goes to 3s now. You know the pattern. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Keep that hip high, the leg high. 3, 2, 1. Set it 2. 1, 2. Don't rush. Don't rush. Stay with my count. 1, 2. Everything goes to singles. Now we get rushy. Don't get rushy. Lift. Control. Floor or no. 2 more. Hold. Floor or not. Here we go. 10 little lifts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold, and lower. Great job, everybody. Let's stretch that out. Let's do a little hip flexor stretch. Hip flexor quadriceps. Felt that a lot. So you're going to line up your body onto the front edge of your mat. Grab your ankle, and notice my knee's not high. It's in line with the hip. I like to flex my foot. Tilt the tail under so you make more of a flatter back. And there's a little space right here at that low, that waistline. You want to lift that up. That puts your spine in neutral. Okay. Tuck the tail if you don't feel it. Tuck a little more. You can also lie all the way down. A little balance issue here as well. Good. Take that upper leg, grab gently behind. Lengthen your leg. You can grab as high as your flexibility allows. You can point, you can flex, you can rotate. Feels good. Good. All right, we're going to have some fun here. Ready? You're going to lower the leg. Not too much, maybe half, maybe a little lower, depending on your flexibility. You're going to push yourself up. You're on your elbow. Go ahead and grab behind. The higher you reach, obviously, the harder it is. So you want to keep the hip as stacked as possible. I know a lot of people will roll back, so do your best. I like to grab just at the belly of the calf muscle, turning the bottom toes downward. Now this is the hard part. Keep the rib as high as you can. You're going to lift the lower leg to meet the upper leg. Does it have to meet perfectly? No. Do your best. If I was reaching lower, I would grab lower on my thigh. Again, you can see that the higher, the harder it is for balance. Try to keep this straight line, the rib cage lifted. Elbow under the shoulder. 2 more. Try not to roll back. I know that's hard. 1 more. Hold it. Bring it halfway for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Awesome job, everybody. Roll it up. Same thing, other side. We'll start with that hip flexor stretch. So come to the front edge of your mat. Tuck the tail. You can lie all the way down. Again, if you don't feel it, it's not stretching. So if you're arching your back, I don't really feel it, or the knee is up. It's got to be right in line. And that little space, we call it the little mouse hole, it's slightly elevated, just so our spine is neutral sideline here. Breathe through. Good. Now let's bend that knee or hip, grabbing behind or on top, whatever you feel uncomfortable. If you have sensitive knees, you might not want to do that. So just grab behind. It's the same stretch. Good. You can lengthen that leg if you like. Grab a little higher. Point flex. Think of reaching that heel toward the ceiling. A little rotation always feels nice. Reverse. Good. All right, take your upper hand right at the chest. Push yourself up. Elbow under the shoulder. This is important, everybody. Lift up that rib. The leg is going to stay high, and you can stabilize it by holding on. Grab what feels comfortable for you. Reposition that rib. Again, try not to roll back, so we don't want to be here and then falling off of our hips. So you want to be as sideline as possible. Bottom toes down. Lift up. Up. I like to have the toes down so you can really activate that inner thigh. Exhale as you come up. Shoulders are down, away from the ears. You can feel nice stability in the scapula. 2 more. Use that breath. Get that leg up there. Hold it half. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Everyone hold and lower down. Good. Let's go ahead and on our backs and stretch out a little bit. Tucking the knee in, rocking side to side. This is one of my favorites. Soles of the feet together, nice little butterfly stretch. I like about a 90-degree. Okay. You just want to make sure you're not arching too much. This typically happens here. Legs out, arms overhead, and we just kind of splay the rib cage. So palms together if you'd like, a little extra, or goalpost arms, those are nice as well. Close the ribs. And just let gravity take hold here. Shoulders down, neck long. If you have the palms together, go ahead and switch the cross. Knit the ribs, belly goes in. Remember, every breath, even if during a stretch, is an opportunity to engage the deepest layers of the core musculature. Pelvic floor, transverse, forcing that air out each time. Good. Float the legs back together. Bring the arms all the way down. Let's do a few shoulder rolls. Okay. We do a little few shruggers. Think of the full arm sliding. Good. I'm going to have you hold one. So reach those fingertips as far down as possible. You're going to tuck the chin, maintain that nice neutral position. Try not to dump that low back into the mat. It might, that space might shrink just a little bit when the legs come up. All right, lifting up one leg at a time. We're going to hold this nice static flex position. Reaching the arms long, shoulders are down. We're going to go into a classic Pilates exercise, the 100. We're going to pump our arms from the shoulders, not the wrist, from the shoulders for a count of 5 as you inhale. The second count of 5 is the exhale. We do that 10 times. Inhale. 20. Inhale. 30. Inhale. Wide across the chest. 40.
Finish this breath. I'm going to add on a fun little variation. Inhale. As you exhale, you can press out. Feel the extra work. And inhale, tuck in, 60. Or lengthen up. Draw in. Two more full breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Hold. See if you can come up a little higher. Roll those shoulders down a little more. And slowly peel down. Great job, everybody. If you want a little spine release there, you can have a wide legs and do a little window shield wipers. Okay, window wipers. Moving side to side, easy. Last one. Okay, again, staying with our theme, our core muscles, so we are gonna go on to single leg stretch, tucking the head, neck, and shoulders up. So you want that distance. It's about a fist. You don't wanna jam it. You certainly don't wanna look up and have it hanging here in space. If you need your pillow, you've got that pillow. Maybe you've doubled it up so your head is more supported here, okay? So that is always an option for you. All right, let's lift up our legs. Kind of like tabletop, but you're gonna tuck in just a little more. All right, your hands are on the shins, and the shins are pressing against the hands. And notice what happened to my spine. It made like a rocking chair leg shape, okay? You're gonna gently extend one leg without changing the shape of the spine. I'm not a fan of grabbing the top of the knee, so either guide it in behind or outside hand on the ankle bone, inside hand on the knee. Ready? We're going to alternate this coordinated with the breath. Exhale, lengthen that leg. You're punching your legs directly in line with the hip. The exhale is the leg extends. The inhale is the transition. Now, a lot of people will go down here, so please avoid that. You might feel some hip clicking, popping, or maybe you're feeling it in your low back. So just aim those legs higher. Once you feel like you've got the movement down, get connected with that breath. Now, it looks like I'm grabbing my legs, but I'm more guiding them than grabbing. Externally rotating if you're feeling a lot in the hip flexor. So turning as the leg extends, rotating that knee cap outward. That really does help. Come up a little higher into your curl if you can. One more on each side. Tuck in. All right, let's reposition here. So let's get those shoulder blades off. There's that rocking chair position again. We're going to go into double leg stretch. We'll start easy. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, lengthen up. The higher the legs and arms are, you're going to circle the arms and bring it back without grabbing on. The lower, the harder. Remember, you want to maintain that shape. Connect with the breath. Another variation of arm pattern can be straight arm overhead versus circle. You get to choose that. Eyes to thighs, belly down and deep. Two more. One more. Hold it, come up a little higher, and melt on down. Good job, everybody. Now, if you're feeling any neck tension, use that pillow, have it supported. I want to hold it up in that nice position here, okay? I want to strain your neck. All right, take a little mini break. One thing I like to do is also work on neck mobility. So lengthen here, and the legs can be down as well. And you're just going to turn. Your chin is this, there's about 3.5, 4 inches distance. It's the length of your neck. So we want to maintain that distance. You don't want to tuck here. So it's lengthening and then rotation. That's a great stretch. Shoulders are down. Same thing other side. Great neck release. Ear, cheek toward the mat. All right, let's bring it back to center. Tuck the chin. And when I mean tuck the chin, don't contract the neck muscles. You just flatten out the cervical spine here. Just make it a little flatter. And then lift up the head, neck, and shoulders. You're going to lengthen both legs. By the way, they could be bent for those of you who are a little tight in the hammies, okay? So just imagine the movement is solely from the hip. You're going to separate into an equal scissor. If you're tight, your scissor might be small. If you're more flexible and strong, the scissor will be a wider scissor. Notice the distance here to me, and then the lower leg and to the floor are relatively equal. We don't want to let that leg just drop. Here we go. The higher you reach, the harder it is. Roll your shoulders down and back. Slowly transition. Exhale and pump. 2. Transition is the inhale. Exhale on the pump. And I'm just guiding the leg. I'm not pulling on the leg. Guide. See if you can come up a little higher. Tips of the blades off the mat. Good job. See if again, we tend to kind of float down there a little bit, so keep those shoulders lifted. One more on each side. Hold. Now I'm going to have you have your legs bent or straight. Bent is easier, straight is harder. A little more lever length, more resistance. You're going to have your head supported with your hands. Also, your head may be down. If your head is down, I like to have the hips supported with the hands. This way we don't get any pelvic rocking. Okay? All right, I'll go back to that earlier in a little bit. Here we go. Sit up, or lift up nice, blades off the mat. You're going to lower the legs. Don't go very far, maybe 1, 2, 3 inches, and then bring it back. Now you can breathe either direction. You can exhale down. I find that's the hard phase, so I like to exhale on the work phase, and then inhale, come up. I've seen it done both ways. Either way, you just got to find where's your work phase. This is what I don't like about exhaling on the way up. People swing. Okay? You keep going. This, again, if you're using this for a support system, you're being very careful. Maybe you have bent knees and you're doing a double leg lowering with bent knees. Okay? I would definitely go for that one if your head is down and your hands are under the hip, because we want to focus on stability of the spine and pelvis here. All right, let's add on just a little fun little piece. You're going to lower, don't go too low, bend the knee, lengthen up. It's like a circle. We'll go 5 in each direction. 2 more. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Okay, and reverse. Lift up, bend, lengthen out. Careful. The farther, the harder. You can feel this. Good, and bring it in. I might have reversed that, but that's okay. You get the idea. All right, let's lower the legs. A little spine twist. Hold, a little static. Glutes the neck, just like we usually do. Same thing other side, cut that upper hip more forward. I got one more exercise for you in our little ab series, and that's crisscross. Everybody's favorite, but a lot of people do it improperly. So we're going to place the hands behind the head and lift up the elbows slightly. You'll notice the scapula will be in a better position there. It's like flat against the rib cage. Okay, shoulder is down. Lift up one leg at a time. Lift up the head, neck, and shoulders. Okay. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, you're going to bring the right rib toward the left hip and extend the right leg. Come back to center and alternate that. Again, most people do this really quick, Nothing going on here but hip flexor and a lot of momentum. Remember, the lower you bring that leg, the harder it is. Lift and rotate. Flexion before rotation, and make sure you blend them. Also add on a little bit, eyes look at the opposite elbow. You can really feel it get a little tougher. One more to each side. Make it even. Come back to center. Great job. All right, let's roll over to prone. Do some stretching. A cobra stretch is really nice here. You're gonna slide your hands back, maybe widen your legs a little bit. The wider, a little easier on the back. Make sure you're not shrugging, so activate the scapula. Head, neck is neutral. Elbows tuck in, so we don't want them flaring out. All right, if you have sensitive wrists, you can do this on knuckles. Exhale. You're going to start with the head. You're going into a little cervical to thoracic extension, using your upper body just a little bit, not too much. Now, for those of you who tend to want to straighten your arms, notice hip comes up. I don't have good flexibility and extension here, so I always go wide legs. But my triceps are relatively strong, and I can just do this 90-degree position. I'm good with that. For those of you who that is not comfortable or you lack the upper body strength, arms can go wide. Just make sure you don't dump all the work into the low back, so you feel pinchy sensation in your low back. You know the abs didn't engage. So that's why we do that breath, and we start with it. Inhale, elongate. Before you come up, draw the belly up and in first. Exhale into your extension. Glide the scapula down. Good. One more time, feels good. Use that upper body, it's there for you. Good. Bring your legs about hip distance. You can be on your knees or your toes if you want to. The toes are definitely harder. We'll try that today. Make sure the hands are where they were. Okay, right at the chest. Rolling your shoulders down and back. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, we're going to go up into a full plank or on the knees. Exhale up in 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Now take it down. 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom. And then come up in 3, 2, 1. Now count of 2. Let's just hold here for 2. Belly is lifted. Hold here at the bottom. Exhale up 2. Good. Down in 2. Hold at the bottom. Keep everything engaged. Last one. Hold. Nice plank. Can be on the knees as well. Okay, widen your legs slightly. Lift up into a nice down dog. Heels low, tail high. This should feel good. If this doesn't feel good for you, then go to child's pose, cat-cow. Think of pressing away from your mat. Elbows are soft. Lighter legs are a little easier, so if you want to try that variation, you can. All right, slowly bend the knees. Back to the mat. A little cat-cow to finish. That is a great cool down exercise. Also warm up. Mobility of the spine and pelvis. Focus on tilting that tailbone to the ceiling as your eyes look forward. Curving the spine, rib knits, belly up. Full breath out. Hang out there a little bit. Feel that nice stretch through your extensors on flexion and an extension, a release on the abdominals. We worked so hard today. Shoulders down. One more. Looking forward. Belly reaches toward the mat. All right, hold neutral and send it all the way back. Let's go to a wide child's pose. So knees about the width, maybe wider for those of you who are more flexible. And on this one, just kind of press one inner thigh toward the mat and then the other. So inner thigh release, hip opener. Good. All right, hold center, nice little rest if you'd like to. I prefer my knees a little closer, so I'm gonna do that for a nice rest. Now child's pose can be done with your arms overhead here, or bring your hands, palms up, allowing the elbows to just melt in toward the mat. Just focus on breathing here. And I want you to notice how you feel right now. Should feel nice, relaxed, accomplished. One more breath, everyone. And if you enjoy this right now, you can hang out here a little longer. Good job, everybody. Okay, I want to thank you for joining me again today on another Pilates at Home workout. We'll see you next time.